My background is, I did my master's in organic chemistry from the Indian Institute of Technology in Bombay, and then headed off to Oregon to do my PhD. My goal was to come and, discover a drug, because this was the center for, drug research. Then from there, I did my postdoc at Columbia at the Max Planck Institute in Germany. I spent 3 years, so I speak German. And I was in Canada for a little while before I came to the US in Quebec, so I understand a little bit of French. And then I did work in Columbia University. Then I worked for Novartis. In those days, it was called Ciba-Geigy. And then for Boehringer Ingelheim. So during that time, I learned all the finer aspects of so-called drug discovery. So I knew what needed to be done. But by the time I spent a whole decade there, I was sure that this was not the answer. So I had to look for a different answer. And the answer came in 1996 when I was at a conference, and there was a guy, I believe his name was Dr. Stephen Felice, and he said, who happened to be MD, PhD, and he had done a lot of work with amino acids and nutraceuticals and so on. And he mentioned the fact that during his lifetime, there would be a product that would replace all drugs. And everybody laughed and everybody clapped, but they didn't take him seriously. But for me, that sentence that the nutraceutical could do this was not an eye-opener, but which one and how to do it was the problem. And over time, I investigated my own family, and I found out that in my father's side of the family, the brothers lived, the 4 brothers, all of them lived well, over 85, average age, they lived about 85 or so. But in my aunts, there were 5 aunts, and they came from a good stock because my grandfather lived to be 97, my grandmother lived to be 96, but they had all the diseases. So I happened to talk to my uncle, the only survivor. He took me to his kitchen and showed me, listen, this is what I do. I eat raw sugar. This is called Jaggery. I cook in coconut oil. When I eat a fruit, it's the whole fruit. I don't take a salt. I use no processed foods. And I get the rice straight from our village, unprocessed rice. And that's it. And I go in the sun, I walk, and that was it. But that same evening, I met a friend of mine who was another friend, who asked me a question. Hey, Raghu, you work in the pharma, you should know this answer. In our factory, I work as a medical officer in the sugar factory. And here I have all the executive staff have all the diseases like metabolic syndrome, like hypertension, diabetes, obesity, kidney disease, and so on. But the workers don't seem to have it. I said, what's the key difference? He says the difference is that the executives corner and you take home the free supply of refined sugar, whereas the workers are left with Jaggery, which is the unrefined one. They don't get the refined sugar. Immediately, I was able to make the connection. It was like a 50,000 volt shock going through your head. Voila, there is the answer. There's something in the Jaggery. Immediately, I knew what was in the Jaggery because I'm an organic chemist. The next stage was to find out it was there. This was in, I believe, 2007. I found out that it was there, what I was looking for. The next one was to make it water soluble and stable, which is what we did in Switzerland in 2008, November. Since then, I've been using that, I've been using that product. So it was a journey where it took time, but once it happened, we found a stable formulation. This product is stable forever at room temperature. Stable forever. I have samples which now are about 13 years old. And it's translucent, as the Rigveda describes it, a little yellow in color, hue, over 13 years. It's stable and still potent. Nothing grows in it. We have tested this in a lab in India where the guy would open the bottle in an area where a lot of, in India, the tropical country, where bacteria and everything grows, fungi. But this product, every year we checked for 3 years in a row, nothing grows on it. And that's why it's a very powerful antibacterial, antiviral compound, which we have shown. So that was the journey. But the journey was also to find out how it worked. And that is where we are. We know how it works. And it's fascinating to see that nature has provided us the tools of survival. And this happens to be that very special tool, which we have missed over all these years. Every animal and every species in the wild knows exactly what to do when they're sick. That's why when we disturb their environment, they start disappearing. So the key is that every species born, that evolution has allowed us to happen, is also given the tools of survival. And I think we have just found out that this is the tool of survival for us as human beings, and also for the animal kingdom. It's the same, it works on all the other animals as well. So nature left us the gift. Nature doesn't create life without giving it the tools of survival, the tools of protection. And this is how evolution works. And I think we have it.